the keyword transient, static versus transient, final versus transient. So overall that we got clarity. Then we will go to the next point, that is Java externalization. So what we studied basically in serialization and in deserialization, everything is taken care by JVM. Programmer have no control. That means in serialization, the total object is saving always into a file. Okay, but my requirement, if suppose my requirement is I want to save a part of the object, so then we will go for externalization. That means if I want to customize something, if I want to customize the change, if I want to customize the state of an object, so advantage is what? The main advantage of externalization over serialization is based on our requirement. We can save either total object or part of the object. Okay, so that it depend upon us. If I want to do something in customized way, then we will go for externalization. Okay, so serialization, object is completely going into file. Okay, suppose if you will tell sir transient keyword we are using not to serialize, no, that property is going, value is 0. If a property will declare a variable what as a transient, that property is going to file, but JVM is putting default value. But suppose we have three property, one is string type of variable, one to int type of variable. So I want to customize two variable. I will send to file, one variable I what don't want to save. So that is called as customize. So if I want to perform serialization in customized way, that is externalization. Okay, so the main advantage of externalization is customizing, only customizing. To provide externalizable ability for any Java object, so it is mandatory. So the corresponding class must implements externalizable interface. In serialization, we saw the class must implements serializable interface. So like serializable interface, there is another interface, built-in interface, that is externalizable interface. So to provide externalizable ability or to perform externalization, it is mandatory that corresponding class must implement from externalizable interface. So guys, directly I will show you a program. So we will go to the program, and from that program I will explain what is the concept of externalization. So now I will go to my code. I will create a new file. Same thing, some import java.io.star package, java.io package that I will import. Let class name, suppose class externalizable example. Okay, externalizable example, class name implements externalizable. Okay, so you guys, this point to remember, the class must implements externalizable interface like serializable. It is also another built-in interface. Suppose in this class we have three property. One is string s, suppose, and suppose let it int I, let int j, whatever you can take. Then one zero arg constructor I am defining. I will explain why I am taking zero arg constructor. I can write in this way: public is optional, class name, method name same. Already we all have studied a construct. Externalizable demo. Okay, so one point I can write system.out.println In serialization, we have taken xy, so here we can write xy. Print ln, suppose let it zero arg constructor. Zero arg constructor. Okay. So now one zero arg constructor I define, then one parameterized constructor I will define, externalizable example. Sorry, nobody is saying this is externalizable, class name, method name, same example. So this part I copied, I pasted here, and I will put let string s comma int x comma int y instance variable equals to local variable. Then I can write this dot s equals to s, this dot x equals to x, this dot y equals to y. So parameterized constructor that I define. So this part already we all have known. Simply externalizable example is a class containing three property. One is a string type of variable, another two is int type of variable, string s, int x and int y, and one zero arg constructor we define, and one parameterized constructor we define, parameter. So here this part already we all have known, this is instance variable and this is local variable. So when exactly instance variable, local variables that is same, so we can differentiate by using this keyword. So this dot s, this is instance and this is local. This part already we all have known. Similarly, so then we will go to the next point. So here for performing or for what customizing, so for write operation, for read operation, two built-in method that we have to define. Two built-in method we have to define. One is, you remember, in externalization, two built-in method I want to define, I will define, that is, one is write external method and one is read external method. You remember. So for or in externalization context, so two built-in method I will define or we have to define. One is write external and read external. So how I will define this write external method and read external method? Public let void method name is write external method. Suppose write external method. So this is a method. So to method I define. So this method containing some parameter. So let it object output. Object output is a built-in class. So let out, it is a reference and it is throwing particularly specific exception, it is throwing IO exception, because object output input output related class. So this I will explain what is the flow control. Then this out object dot write object. So within bracket s, the property s I want to write, and then I what out dot write int. So within a bracket I will write x. Suppose I want to write two property. So for that there is a method coming from object output class write object. One method I define. Suppose write external method. Suppose I define. So within a method, what argument I am passing? So an object of type object output. Object output is a class name coming from java.io package. So that's why it is invoking by out object. So for writing string property, which method I am calling? Write object method I am calling. For writing int property, x is int type of variable, y is int type of variable, or we can say x is int type of property. So it is invoking by what? Out object, which method? Write int method. So among three property, I decided, so I will write two property. One is s and one is x. S is string type of variable and s is int type of variable. Similarly, so I will define next method public void read external. So two methods suppose I am defining. Same way, here object output out object, here object input, object input. Suppose whatever the object name is, I can write, let it in, suppose, throws IO exception. Particularly, IO exception is string. If you don't know which exception, that method, so that code by default throwing which exception, checked exception, then you can write throws exception. So this method throwing two exception, one is IO exception and one is plus not found exception, plus not found exception, plus not found exception. Okay, so very simple, same things. Now we can what? Read. So s equals to, okay, so I will specify the target type string. So string, so object name is in dot read object method, read object method. So then I can write x equals to, so in dot read int method, this. Okay, so what I did, I did, so again I'm repeating what I did. What I did again I'm repeating. So now one class I have taken. So in a single class, I have written all these things. In a single class, I have written all these things. So class name is externalizable example. Then containing three property. One is, so property is a string type of variable. Another two variable is int type of variable. Then one zero arg constructor I have defined, one parameterized constructor that I have defined. Then two methods that depend upon you, whatever the method name that you can give. So two method, suppose write external method and read external method that I define. But this method is performing write operation and this method is performing read operation. So this method containing two things, sorry, containing an argument. Which type of argument? Object output type of argument. Object output object I took, and by that object out I am invoking a write object method and I am invoking write int method. If to write a string value, write object method we have to call, write an int value we have to call write int method. So then another method I have defined, that is read external. So same way, so like object output argument, so here object input type of object that I have taken. So simply directly you can take another class for main method, here you can type, otherwise directly I can put all these things in one class, public static void main, so string args. So now here I will uh, declare object. So this main method, under main method, so this object I will declare. So this is the class name, so externalizable. So externalizable example, externalizable example. Okay, so object I will declare. So because this object we will perform serialization and deserialization, because we will perform serialization, but that serialization we are performing in customized way, so that is externalization. Let my object name is obj, suppose equals to new class name externalizable example. This is the object I took, but you see, so everything that we have to point out. So here I have taken what parameterized constructor, but in previous example at the time of definition of a cat class, so directly I had taken x is 100, y is 200, but here, so since we have a parameterized constructor, already we know that, so at the time of object declaration, constructor will execute automatically, but since we have a parameterized constructor, so at the time of declaration of an object we will pass the value. Okay, let John, suppose name string, suppose name one name, suppose I provided x value is 100, y value is 200. This, so parameterized constructor executed. Then we will perform serialization operation, because serialization operation at the end, so we are performing, but in customized way, that is externalization. So file, so already currently we studied in which way or what are the codes for serialization. File, output stream, object I will take FOS equals to new, file, output stream, output stream. Okay, so within bracket I will write abc.ser file, then I will create file output stream object, create object output stream object, object output stream OOS equals to new, so object output stream, object output stream object, so I will write FOS, then object output stream object dot, so write object method. So here which object I will serialize? Externalizable example object I want to serialize, so I will pass obj. So now, so this point is what? This point. So this three line representing serialization. I declared file output stream object, declared object output stream object, then I called write object method. So these three lines of code representing serialization. Now again these three lines, another three line of code for deserialization. So file input stream, file input stream, let FIS equals to new file input stream, file input stream. Okay, so let bc.ser file, then object input stream file, object input stream OIS equals to new, so object input stream, so this is my object input stream file. I will create a link, so I will pass a file input stream object. So then, so what class, so another object externalizable example. Okay, let suppose this is obj1, this is obj1, so this is obj1, so here obj2 equals to, so because read object method I will call, so I will perform typecasting externalizable example. Okay, so object input stream object is OIS dot, method name is read object method, read object method, so it is deserialization. So already in previous example that we have seen, so what are the three lines of code that representing serialization and 3 lines of code that representing deserialization. Then so I can write an output statement system dot out dot println. Okay, so what obj2, because I got or I retrieved from file. So by obj2, obj2 dot s. Okay, so obj2 dot s. Okay, so there is a space. Let obj2 dot x. Okay, so this s property have serialized and x property have serialized. So I can put a space. Then if I want to know obj2 dot y, so it will be 0. So this, okay, this main method, then plus. Yes. So this is my serialization, this is my deserialization, and this is my one output statement. So when this line will execute, this line is object declaration. So when this line will execute, so this portion will execute, parameterized constructor will execute. So when serialization, so this line of code will execute. So when serialization is performing, write external, it internally it is invoking write external method, you remember. Okay, then when I will perform deserialization, when I will perform deserialization means from a file, then file supported form will convert into Java supported form. So I will get in the form of object, I will get in the form of object whatever the file containing the property s value and x value. We have three property, string s, int x, int y. So whatever we have the property, so that property we are getting in the form of object. So when deserialization, when this operation, when deserialization, so we will perform, so this 0 1 object we will create. So internally 0 arg constructor will execute. So 0 arg constructor, so an object it will create. Okay, then internally read external method, this person will execute, because execution is starting from main method onwards. So execution is starting from this is the first line to execute in whole program. So when this line will execute, parameterized constructor will execute. When this line will execute, write external method definition will execute. When this line will execute, default zero arg constructor and read external method will execute. Then this is the output statement. So now I will save externalizable example.java. I will do all files, then I will save. I will go to command prompt, java c externalizable example.java. So here what the output is, what object write external object output throws IO exception. So which error? Object output is object output OUT. So I have written wrongly, I think. Yes, object output. Okay, so now I will save. So I will go to command prompt, java c. I will compile. My file name is externalizable externalizable example dot java. On reported exception, where, okay. So main method serialization. So here also we have to write those exception. Okay, so already previously we have seen, so this three line representing serialization, these three lines representing deserialization. So when serialization code you are writing, you have to write here also throws exception. So now I will save, I will go to command prompt. So now Java C externalizable example.java. Okay, Java space class name externalizable example. Okay, so we saw zero arg constructor because one output statement we have written here. Then John 100. John is the value of S. 100 is the value of X. But Y value that have not serialized. So that's why 0 came. Okay, so this is known as externalization. So externalization, the object we are going to perform externalization operation, the corresponding class must implements externalizable interface. And here also you see, so when to method write external read external method I'm defining, these are also providing a checked exception. For that we are using throws keyword, and we saw, and this point we have known for serialization and deserialization. So throws exception, so three places here, one place here, one place throws here, one place throws. So checked exception already we have studied, and you think and imagine how that is important. So where we are using the concept of checked exception and how to handle by using throws keyword. So that's why we are using throws keyword. Okay, so when this line is executing, write external method, this portion is executing. When this deserialization, this portion is executing, zero arg constructor, through this constructor an object is creating, and so another is this portion is executing. So I hope everybody got clarity. Externalization. If I want to customize our serialization, that is externalization. I want some portion of the object I want to save into a file. So that is externalization. Serializable is an interface. Externalizable is an interface. So overall, some terminologies you remember. So this is all about externalization.